Dartmouth Greek life, a subculture. The benefits and dangers this scene provides by Walker Linares, Morgan Livermore, and Lyman Mismer. Does this breed a sense of welcome? In itself, Dartmouth Greek life is a subculture. Inherently, the students who like to party and binge drink, i.e. the ones that make up the subculture, find it a safe and welcome place to party, free from the dangers of a city or even larger college. All the students are protected somewhat from police and bartenders. This encourages copious amounts of binge drinking and behavior usually deemed unacceptable in the real world. The fraternity system and sorority system at Dartmouth are all welcome places. Every party is open to everyone. Anyone can get a beer if they want to, or if they don't want to, they can just go to hang out. And although some are not as welcoming as others, during a social event, the houses are open to all that dare venture in and subject themselves to the peer pressure and binge drinking that Greek houses encourage. First, we're going to get familiar with the terms that we'll be talking about here. Culture is the totality of learned and socially transmitted customs, knowledge, material objects, and behavior. A subculture, which is the Dartmouth fraternity social scene we're talking about, is a segment of society that shows a distinctive pattern of mores, folkways, and values that differs from the pattern of the larger society. The Dartmouth Greek system in itself, as I said before, is a subculture. To describe it a little, it's each house has their own kind of associations with either sports teams or stereotypes, and ways most people socialize is either a fraternity has, I guess you could say, an exchange with a sorority, which is the entails, or most people just go in the basement and play Dartmouth drinking game we like to call Pong. The Dartmouth fraternity scene is a subculture because it differs from the dominant ideology of Dartmouth as a whole, which most would say would be the studious, high-achieving, non-procrastinating student that most of us like to see ourselves. But when one thinks of a person in a fraternity, they kind of think the opposite, low-achieving, lazy, binge drinker, procrastinator, and all that.
So when you look at what's acceptable in a fraternity or sorority, it's something that's usually not an acceptable behavior in the real world. Things such as, binge drinking, keg stands, blacking out, public urination, vomiting, etc. are all ones that are very acceptable at a frat. However, when you go out in the real world, those are not something that you can do. When people are there, they take what's called a dramaturgical approach to behavior, which was proposed by Goffman, and it's basically people acting a different way to look cool, or so people think that there's something that they might not be in. They might be acting a way they don't necessarily want to act, but do so anyway. Another thing that takes place is psychological pressure, which is kind of like a lesser version of mob mentality combined with peer pressure, making people feel like they have to be a part of the scene or have to do that, or etc. So Dartmouth's kind of an institution that lulls everyone into a false sense of security. By insulating students, Hanover Police, and Dartmouth Safety and Security create an environment where it is safe to drink until you black out, and then you can continue. Dartmouth, the whole idea of drinking is so deeply founded in it. You have our unofficial mascot of Keggy the Keg, which you see here like talking to a police officer. Obviously, it's kind of a different world. It's our own little world. However, the positive aspects of a fraternity kind of overshadow the negative, because there are a lot of good things to take away from it. It's a good place to socialize. You create good, strong bonds and friendship from all your brothers or sisters. You get social networking from, alums. Everyone's welcome, including the unaffiliated students, so you can meet people. You get a kind of escape from the real world and the pressures of Dartmouth, which is always nice.
The Dartmouth fraternity scene is a subculture, and it's rooted into the college reputation and traditions. Although certain facets of the scene encourage unacceptable behavior when viewed objectively, it also encourages and fosters many positive outcomes and provides a haven for the behavior most notably associated with the college and the fraternity scene as a whole. Thank you for listening, and have a nice day.